Hello, my name is Aham Chakra. I've worked at GMAT Buddy for more than 10 years now, helping young professionals like yourself who are preparing for the GMAT. What I would like to do in this video is explain to you how I think about the GMAT test and how this information can be extremely valuable to how you prepare moving forward. Now, as you know, the GMAT is comprised of 3 sections: quant, verbal, and data insights. And what these sections measure are the following skills to various degrees. Number one, your ability to read a lot of information from different sources. It can be text, it can be charts, it can be tables, and then to synthesize, to capture the information from every one of those resources together into a very coherent whole under a clear structure. Maybe say something like x equals y or x and y therefore z. And then to use tools of quantitative, verbal, and logical reasoning to make good decisions. Now, here's the catch. You have to be able to do this in, on average, 2 minutes per question. For some questions on the GMAT, maybe a little bit more time, but you have to be able to do it under time. Now, what are the implications of this? You have to be able to process the information that you're reading in almost real time. Now, why is this important? Well, think about why the GMAT is required. It's an assessment tool to go to business school, during which you will engage with a lot of students, other professionals, in exchanging ideas that you get from reading cases, from listening to other viewpoints, from watching the news. And so you have to be able to process information that is moving and changing really fast, almost in real time. And so it is a benchmark that business schools use to get the best students who reason the best under time conditions. You also have to think about the functions that you fill after the MBA: consulting, finance, private equity, venture capital, entrepreneurship, project management. You have to be able to process a lot of information almost in real time and make good decisions. And so the GMAT is that first step that you need to take to demonstrate that you can actually reason efficiently and effectively under time conditions. What are the implications to how you actually prepare? Let me tell you this. The vast majority of GMAT questions that I've seen can be solved on a space no larger than this. It is irrelevant that you can solve a question correctly on an A4 sized paper writing this much. You have to be able to solve on a space no larger than this, because the reasoning tools and skills that you develop to go from writing this much to here, that is where the magic lies, and that should be the ultimate objective of how you actually prepare. Which brings me to the second part of my video. One of the worst things you can do when you're preparing for the GMAT is to build momentum and study for a few weeks and then stop. And the reason is the following: these skills that you're building require constant pressure and challenge to improve, but also to maintain. And so when you prepare for a while, but then stop, you lose a lot of that progress that you made. There's another reason why this is really very bad, because GMAT resources, official GMAT questions, are relatively speaking very few. And they are essential tools that you need to assess whether you're actually learning efficiency, whether you're actually able to solve questions on a space no larger than this. The best way to make this assessment of whether you can do it in, on average, 2 minutes per question is a GMAT question. So a lot of the value that you derive out of official GMAT resources is their newness. And so when you study, build momentum, and then stop, those questions that you've used, they're no longer new and the value is degraded. So my advice to you is the following. When you've decided to prepare for the GMAT, pick a time in your life when everything is in order and you know that if you start to study, you're not going to stop until you arrive at test day. If you would like to learn more about how to prepare, build efficiency, subscribe to my channel or to my newsletter. Good luck.